clinical, and he was there on Tuesday against his former club at his former home. Would have been difficult. Straight, he wasn't expected to start, and bang, he went in there. Like I said, Chris Somerville had already got us 1-0 up, deflected effort. And then, but these things go for you when you're doing well, didn't they? Deflected, if we were down at the bottom, it'd have probably deflected and gone wide, and we'd be like, oh, we're struggling and we're not going to get a goal. But we managed it. We got 2 in 10 minutes, and that just settled everybody down, and we got the win in the end. And Sky Sports poor, but Sky Sports were poor. I ended up watching it. It was a Swansea City commentary with Lee Trundle, of course. And Lee Trundle, man, they're so defeatist. They were so like, first, I mean, they're 2-0 down after 10 minutes. You can't blame them. But even before that, they were so, it's all about, this, that, and the other. It's, Leeds are so much better than Swansea and all this, that, and the other about the money and the depth of the squad. And, it's not about winning the game and all this. And I just thought, man, just lighten up a bit. But they're not in a good way at all, are they? So
they've struggled, haven't they, all season, Swansea?
Yes, I think. Their manager, the appointment of that manager isn't a good appointment at all. He's way out the depth. I think he did well at Notts County, but. No disrespect to either Swansea or Notts County, but Notts County it's a completely different level. It's non-league and League Two, so the step up is massive, and I think they'll be in trouble. To be fair, I think they're going to be in trouble, Swansea, and there's a couple of teams at the bottom of the table. Obviously, delighted for your pal last night because he got one, didn't he? I don't know how much he knew about it, but he got one, didn't he, in the end?
Listen, I think the Town will be fine. I really do. I think QPR will struggle. I think it's them. I think Rotherham are done.
Yeah.
I don't think Town will go down. I think they've just got that little bit of quality to stay up. But no, listen, met up from, I hope they stay up. I really do. Let's just jump into the comments. Good evening, everybody. There's only us two on tonight. Get your comments in. We do read them. Please do. Stuart says, it's been a long time since we played a game where we were never worried about conceding a goal, let alone losing. Good times. Yeah, how good, George, has the defence been for Leeds? Of recent as well, because you all know, well known on this channel, I'm a big fan of Mr. Liam Cooper. I actually can't see him getting back in this team for a long, long time.
No, I mean, both Liam Cooper, Arron, and Pascal Strout, when he comes back in, how are they going to get back in the team? The defence is the first port of call in terms of how well we're playing and now winning games of football. They're so good in terms of Joe Rodon is a must, isn't he, in the summer? If we don't go up, then I don't think he will. But if we go up, he has to be the first one to come in. He's a fantastic player for this level. It's just a bit naughty to have sort of both him and Ethan Ampadu, who are also great mates off the field, aren't they? To be playing alongside each other, know each other's game inside out, playing it with each other on national level as well. It's almost not fair, really. I mean, they both look so composed at this level. Joe Rodon can take it outside of the defence as well, up into the halfway line, and looks very comfortable in possession. They all do. I mean, and then you've got players like Connor Roberts, who also fits that mould of good mates with those two guys, fits into that right back role very, very nicely. And how's he going to get back in the team as well? How's he going to get in the team? He's got a real headache as Daniel Farp. It's such a good one to have. And evening, Richard. How are you going? Richard is a long time commentator and watcher of my channel. Welcome along, Richard.
Give him a shout out, George. Give him a shout out and get him subscribing to your channel.
And subscribe to the channel. It's also being streamed on my channel. We did chat about it, Arron, first, and I worked out how to do it. So while we were just talking, I've managed to, I think, stream it on my channel as well. Richard, I think you've come from my channel, perhaps. Let me know in the comments if you have, because then I know it's worked. But I think I've managed to stream it onto my channel, The Bearded Peacock, as well. So it's all over the place here now. is this stream. So anybody joining me from my channel, welcome along. Anybody joining from LS11 channel and you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that. We're on the way to 1,000, which I've been for a long time, to be fair. But I'm not going as an advert. Yes, all great stuff, Richard. I've done it, so that's good. So anybody watching on my channel, and you can watch back as well. I think it'll go straight on there as well after we've finished live. So yeah, but yeah, honestly, the defense is great, and the headache that Daniel Farke has is unbelievable. And we were speaking about it, weren't we, on our chat with the other lads as well, and Lou was in there as well yesterday about the comparisons almost between the Bielsa team and the Farke team, and you were saying that Farke has a lot more money to spend than Bielsa did, which is true. I mean, look at the net worth of this team; it's massive. And when you look at the net worth of this team compared to the Swansea team we're playing against on Tuesday, it is almost unfair. Look at the starting 11. You've got Mele, who's an international at youth level. You've got Archie, who's also a youth international. You've got Ampadu and Rodon, both full internationals. Then you've got Kamara and Gruev, who are both internationals. You've got Somerville, who's a youth international. You've got Rutter as well, and then you've got Nonto, who again is an international, full international, and then you've got Peru, who is one of the best players at this level you could have. So it's unbelievable quality all around the field. It's amazing.
But that's due, and I know we were having, because you think that what Farke's done is better than Bielsa, and how he's turned it around. There are comparisons there, George. There really is, but. You know me, I'm a big Bielsa fan. I'd have him back in a heartbeat if I could, even though he won't. I'm all for Daniel Farke. I don't want to get rid of him. I think he's doing a fantastic job. But when you compare both of them, Bielsa worked wonders for this team. What he did, he turned mid-table championship players like, Calvin Phillips, Bamford, Cooper, Ayling, you could go Alioski, Dallas, you can go on and on and on, Hernandez. He changed the philosophy throughout English football, and he will, for me, be one of the greatest Leeds United managers for what he did. And I was looking through some of my old kits. I've been having a bit of a sort out, and I found the green and this one here. Here it is. I found this bad boy.
Yes, I love that one. It's fantastic. That's.
And unfortunately, now I'm getting a big lad. I do look 6 months pregnant if I put it on. But that, for me, is Bielsa. It is that first season back in the Premier League. And it really is, he did wonders for us, did that lad. And as what Eric Papa has said there, he changed Leeds United. As well. Good evening, Colin, as well. Leeds all over, support Leeds and support each other. Yes, that is right. I just want to jump onto this one here because Eric Papa has been working in Newcastle, and even the Geordies say Leeds are on fire and will go up. I don't know how many pints you've had there, Eric Papa, but those Geordies won't be saying that.
It's a fantastic.
We'll be kicking off. We're not in the Champions League then.
It's a fantastic place, is Newcastle. Very friendly people as well. But I mean, look, you can see it. You can see it that Leeds are doing well, and Leeds shouldn't really, like I said, with that team and that squad and the depth it is now on it, you shouldn't really be in the. We should never have been in the position we're in the first place, along with Leicester as well. We should never really have been in there. But
Leicester are just too good. What are they on? It's 72 points or something ridiculous.
78 points, yeah.
Is that what they're on now? 78
points. 12 points ahead of us. We're on 66. So, yeah. It's incredible, really.
That for me is just at this stage of the season.
It's incredible, yeah.
It is incredible. And I want them to smash every single. 78 points, you're right. They want to smash every every record going because they deserve to at this stage of the season. They're up. They're up. They're done. They're up.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've got to say we continue in second. We've got to win 4 games, and they've got to lose 4 for us to even get into first position. So we're definitely chasing them. We're not going to catch them. They're what now? They're 14 points ahead of Southampton in third. So you've got to fancy them to go up. So yeah, it's done and dusted for them. Fair enough. And that they're a lot better than any team have been by a long way. I still maintain that I think that Leeds are a better man for man than Leicester, but I think we're better than Leicester man for man. And now I don't.
If we were, it's very simple. If we were better, we would be above them in the league. It's as simple as that. What annoys me is when you look back now earlier in this, and I know we keep saying this week in, week out, but you look back on at the start of the season in particular, where you've dropped points against Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham, these shithouse teams where you've lost points, valuable points. If we'd have got something from those games, we would be clear as day in second place, clear as day.
Yeah, we definitely would. But at the time, you can say if we won all the games, we'd be top of the league and out of sight. So it's always ifs and buts. At the time, you can only win the game and see where it gets you at the end of the season. Obviously, you can point fingers at games like Rotherham away, Wednesday at home, like I said, Birmingham away. The list goes on. There was a few games that were there where we've kind of tossed away. Stoke away, Sunderland away. These are teams we shouldn't have been losing to. But at the end of the day, it's a 46-game season, and you can't go through a season without having a little bit of dodgy couple of games where you lose and lose a bit of form. So unfortunately for us, like again we were saying yesterday, is that these two teams above us or whatever, they've just had freak seasons, quality seasons where it's been very, very difficult and a freak thing where they're just doing so well. At any other given season would be miles away at the top, because you look at the team when we went up, we were 50. I think at this point or around this time, I saw a stat the other day, and I think you might have said it as well. We were on 55 points and we were in second. Now we're 11 points better off than that. We're in second still, but look how close it is, and look how many points we've got. So it's incredible. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. It is, and I think it is a bit of a freak championship season, isn't it? Because let's give credit where credit is due. Leicester are very, very good. Southampton, I know people are saying, they've lost the game because they lost midweek. The wheels have fallen off. I know Ipswich won yesterday. I think they won 4-0, didn't they, against Millwall?
It was 3-0.
3-0. I think I'm sure it was 4. I'm sure.
Was it 4-0?
Somebody will comment in the comments and tell me. But it is, and obviously us, you've got 4 good teams who are fighting it out, and it is going to go to the wire.
Definitely will.
I just want to jump into the comments if I can, George. Hold your thoughts.
Yeah, it was 4-0.
There you go. I knew it was right. Eric says he goes into the local Wetherspoons and meets a few local Newcastle fans. Good banter. Lovely. Let's have a look here. Right, Michael, this is what I want to pull up. Michael says, let's not get carried away with Leeds. Position 1, defeat the doubts, criticism. Position 1, defeat, then doubts, criticism will come to the fore about players and fact. Take it game by game. The championship table changes week by week. He also goes on to say Southampton on paper have the hardest run, in Ipswich on paper have the easier run. And that Michael says there at one point we were 10 points behind Ipswich and Southampton. And even Ipswich have 2 wins in 10. Listen, I think the first thing for me, when we look at where we've got to at this stage of the season, we had to first of all catch Ipswich, and I think we've done that. I don't think Ipswich will overtake us again in the league because they can't.
No, I don't think so either. I think with no disrespect to Ipswich, because they keep going, they're only 3 points behind us, but I just don't. like Michael said there, the 2 wins in 10 games. I mean, and there's still, that just shows you how well they were doing beforehand, how we had to make up them points, and we did it. We did it.
And bearing in mind as well, George, that at the beginning of Christmas on the 23rd, we were thinking, oh yeah, Ellen Road was bouncing, but to get, was it 7 points? I think it was, wasn't it? We were going to go 7 points behind them once we won the game. Think, oh yeah, over Christmas we're going to smash it, and we didn't. But now we've actually caught them. I think that's it now for me. I think because we've caught them, I think it'll be very hard for them to catch back up.
No, I completely agree with you, and I think it will be hard for Ipswich to claw back that, even though it's only a 3-point gap right now. And John says Ipswich have, they've still only lost 4 games. Yeah, they are hard to beat, and they do seem to just find a way, even if they're losing, like that one against West Brom. Was it on Saturday? Stoppage time goal got them a draw, and if they don't, if you can't win it, draw it. You know what I mean? Don't lose it. And that's what they do. They seem to find a way. If they're losing, they get a draw. If they're drawing, they get a late win. So that's how, and they're a good side. They are a good side. But even, you know what I mean? Even if we were to say, if Southampton were to get second, I'd fancy us in the playoffs. I'd actually quite like to get Ipswich, if I'm being honest with you.
In the final or the semi-final?
Well, probably the final, because we can beat them. We've shown it already, and I feel like I don't think it'll be an issue. They're a good side, but they're not. Let's be honest. They were a League One team last season, weren't they? So we and they're doing incredibly well. But our team is so much better than any of these teams, bar like Leicester or Southampton. It's better than all of them teams.
Well, as things stand right now, I think Lewis said it, didn't he, in our group chat this week? Listen, win 14 games and you will be promoted.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Win all 14 and you're up. There's nothing. It's kind of in your own hands as things stand. And I know that Stuart says we're almost at a stage where promotion is in our own hands. A couple of poor results from Southampton, which we control our own destiny. We can control it now, Stuart. If we win all our 14 games, we're up.
But I mean, that's incredibly optimistic, because that
why
puts
not?
us.
Why not? No,
that literally
on an amazing winless, winning run 23, unbeaten.
Yeah, but that was unbeaten. That wasn't winning all. I mean, if we win all of them from now to the end of the season, we've won 21 games in a row. That's an incredible sort of thing to do, and we can go unbeaten. I think we can go unbeaten, but I don't think we'll quite win all of them. I do, unfortunately, see us maybe dropping 1 or 2 games and losing a couple more, maybe. But generally, I am confident we get second.
Where do you see then, George? Where are we going to drop points?
I'm just trying to. I can't.
Do you want me to give you games?
Because I can't think of them off the top of my head.
I'm not going to include Chelsea.
No.
Currently, this month in February, Plymouth, Leicester, Chelsea, obviously at the end of it. At those 2, do you see us dropping points?
Maybe a draw with Leicester, I think.
Okay. So then you go and jump into March. So you've got a whole chunk here before an international break in the middle of it. You've got Huddersfield away, Stoke at home, Sheffield Wednesday away, Millwall at home, and then Watford away in March.
That should be 5 wins, really.
Yep. Then you're going to jump into April, and this is the business end of the season now, and I'll throw in one in May as well. So you've got Sunderland at home, Blackburn away, Middlesbrough away, QPR.
Blackburn at home.
Blackburn at home, Middlesbrough away, QPR away, and then Southampton at home on the final game of the season.
So, I think maybe there might be a silly one. Like, I fancied all the home games.
Coventry as well, Coventry away.
I fancy all the home games to be won. Maybe we might draw with Coventry, or draw a couple in there, or lose a silly one against, like, where was it? The Middlesbrough or something like that, although they're really poor. Realistically, when you put it down like that and the fixtures we've got left, we haven't got that many teams to play that are sort of around us, or away from home. We've got Leicester and Southampton both at home. You know,
Yeah.
there's Hull to play at home as well, isn't there? Which will be a tough match.
Do you see us then? Do you see us going unbeaten at home this year?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I mean Leicester for me. I mean, it gets to the point where we're unbeaten all the way through to the last one against Southampton, and then we lose. That'll be disappointing, but particularly if it's got something riding on it. But I think, I think so. The atmosphere at Ellen Road seems so like you're never going to lose. Like you just feel like we're not going to lose.
Well, yeah, I agree, but I think once we get to the business end of the season in March and April time, I think the atmosphere will crack up a little bit, if I'm being honest, because it has been at times flat, because I think the expectation for Leeds is to win every game and put on a performance, and they do. But I hope that come the back end of the season at home, that I would give, if I were going to give it a mark out of 10, I'd give the atmosphere a 6 out of 10 at the moment. I think come April, it could easily be knocked up to a 9 and a 10. Easy. Yeah,
look, I agree with you. I think the atmosphere will be cranked up the higher the stakes get, kind of thing. Particularly if we end up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'll just bear with me. Actually, I'm just speak amongst yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll just read some comments. I don't know where George is going, but he's having a good time. There we go. Let me have a little look here and see. Watch out, Leicester. Come on, you white and yellows. 100% come on, Leeds. Not impossible. Stuart says pressure does funny things to teams. Let's see which teams hold their nerve. I think we need 10 wins to guarantee second. Yeah, get in your comments. How many wins do we need to get to second place? I think I probably agree with you, John. I think 10 points would be just enough. Richard says Ipswich looked tired at the end of their match of the night, and we looked fitter against Swansea. And the final one, before I jump back onto George, Southampton have to play Ipswich, Leicester, Norwich, West Brom away, Coventry and Hull at home. So there, and yes, Stuart, I think his Deliveroo had arrived. There you go. Josh, over to you.
Yes, well, what we were speaking about, Arron.
Well, I was just reading the comments.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no, look, I think, I think we're going to, I think we will go unbeaten in Ellen Road, and I do agree with you. I think that the atmosphere will crank up. At Leicester, obviously, we have Leicester and Southampton to play, but I do think that, I do think it's going to be a sort of end of the season where you expect us to win games. We're going into them, like you said, expecting to win. Maybe that's affected the atmosphere at Ellen Road. I'm sure it has done. But ultimately, I just think that you can't see them losing a game now. It's great. You're going into the game just thinking, we're going to win. We're going to win. And it just feels nice after last season of losing all these games and being frustrated all the time. And now we're showing what we can do. And that game on Tuesday was, I had no worries we were going to win that we weren't going to win that game. And it's 90% of that's 90% of the league, basically. Even the teams in the top six, like West Brom and Coventry, the teams floating around there. Hull, I know we lost to West.
That's it. But when you're looking at the table, it is so congested there. I'm just looking at the table right now. West Brom obviously on 52 points there. 5 points clear of 7th. But in there, you've got Coventry 48, Norwich 48, Hull 48, Preston 48, Sunderland 47, Bristol City 44, just outside, you would say, Watford, Middlesbrough, Cardiff on 40. You don't think they'll be able to do it. But there's a whole bunch of teams fighting out for 5th and 6th. It's a really congested mid-table, pushing for the final playoff places.
Yeah, it always is, isn't it?
But this year, it's very tight again in that middle.
Yeah, well, yeah, it always is. And like you said, I think down to 40 think it's 40. Did you say Cardiff on 40 points? They're probably just away from it, aren't they? They're in like 14th, did you say?
They are 14th, yeah.
So then it's like the rest of the division upwards are basically trying to get in the playoffs, and it's so close. And all of them can beat all of them. But yet all of them, when we play them, just look really poor. And that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, we look at West Brom potentially doing us a favour tomorrow night.
Who are they playing then?
They play Southampton.
Is that the game?
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow night, Friday. Oh, Friday night. Yeah. Oh, right. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean it. Yeah. I mean it. Hopefully they do.
They did us a favour because they lost. I watched them against Bristol City at Southampton, and they just fell apart. They looked absolutely dead to the water. They looked awful. But I think they've had a remarkable run, though, haven't they? Because they haven't been playing against the top 6 sides. They've been playing basically crap teams.
Yeah, well, yeah, they haven't had the harder games, and now it's coming to where they are, and they had to lose at some stage. It was a fabulous run, wasn't it? I don't know how many league games it brought in that 25 game unbeaten run, because that included some FA Cup games, I think, as well. So, but it was incredible, and it had to come to an end at some stage.
And it all started, George, when we lost to Southampton.
It did, I know. That was their first win of that run, wasn't it? That 3-1 defeat we had. But I think, I mean, you could see it on Saturday. Not that I saw their game, but against Huddersfield, Huddersfield gave them a real good game, didn't they? And
but they'd let us down that bloody time, because it was when I was in the ground when bloody hell down at 2-0 up, and he read the what's the guy now who reads the scores out at Ellen Road? He's on the mic. I forgot his name.
Big Lee, is it Lee something?
Yeah, he just went Southampton 0, Huddersfield Town 2, and I went up the town in the cup, and everybody started laughing. It was quite funny. Up the town, and then they lost 5-3, but never mind.
Yeah, well, that's it. They gave it a good go, didn't they? You can't blame them for
the way they're leaking goals, George, because
Southampton well, that's it.
Many goals now, 6-2.
6-2, yeah, exactly. So it's a lot that they're conceding, and I know the fans were very disappointed, and some fans of Southampton were almost having a go at Leeds for celebrating our win on Tuesday. I mean, they were a bit rattled, I think, but you go again. It is another round of games, come up quickly, don't they? So
There's one person who I'd like to talk about, who we haven't talked about already this evening. Gruev, proper footballer, says Eric.
Yeah, I mean, Eric raises a good point, because I think even on my own channel over there, I was debating whether to look at Gruev and do a little video of in-depth more on him, because he's been fantastic. We were disappointed with his performances when he first came in. Couldn't get into the team, could he, initially? And then he came in at Stoke, and we had that awful game, and it wasn't his fault, but we kind of all sort of took a thing from that to think, he's not that good, but he's showing what he can do now. He's alongside, and for me, Kamara looks the one that's, a little, not that he's worse, but he looks a little bit worse than him in the middle, I think, particularly on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday we played? It was Tuesday, wasn't it? So on Tuesday, I thought Kamara looked a little bit off it, me personally, a little bit sloppy in his passing and stuff. Gruev just looked completely so assured on the ball. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable the way he can just. It's so comfortable, but then you forget as well, Arron, that he's an international player. And he was playing at the top level of where he was playing at in the Bundesliga last season. So I know it's not the Premier League, but it's still top division of the country he was playing in. So he's not a bad player at all, and he's showing it now. And I feel like if we were to go into the Premier League, he'd be able to do it at some level there. So he's a fan. Yeah, he's just doing so well.
I think it's typical Leeds, though, isn't it, George? When and I know you can argue, you look at Ampadu and Rodon, who have just come in and slotted in straight away. But I think it's because we needed players at that stage, didn't we? We needed a really good defensive holding midfielder and Ampadu slotting straight away. And then obviously Rodon centre back, and obviously they've formed a really strong partnership, and you can't see them conceding, and defences win you titles, says Stuart, which is absolutely bang on.
Well, they do, and like we said, we're not conceded for 4 full games. I don't know when the last time that would have happened. And we're just, every single match, they know each other inside out, those two lads, I think.
Yeah. And
so it really, really helps. And I think, I agree with you, Aaron. We did need players at the start of the season. We needed that centre, that CDM position, and he came in. He was the natural man to take that role. But now, then, when obviously Pascal got injured, or he'd had that hernia operation handy, and he still hasn't really come back properly since.
Well, he'll be out, won't it? So probably after the international break in March.
You'd have thought so. I don't think he'll play much more this season, really. But on other seasons, you might say that's a big miss for the team, but he's not, because of Ampadu's performances, and also then you've got you've got other options as well, with Cresswell coming back into the to the manager's thoughts, and obviously you've got Cooper if you want to go that low.
Listen, can I say something now? I think Liam Cooper. I don't want to say it, but it's very hard for me to say this, but I don't think we'll see him for much longer in a Leeds United shirt. I think he might get 10 minutes at Chelsea. That's if we're winning.
I think he'll get bar injuries. Yeah, you can't really see him playing much more, can you? And I don't think he'll get a new contract. So I think he'll get the token end of the season game, maybe if it's all done and dusted at that stage. But I don't see him playing anymore, much more than he needs to, because you can't get in. And even if you are going to get in, Pascal's going to get in before Cooper, isn't he? So, but the two of them, and the lads on the wing as well. I mean, Archie Gray's been unbelievable, really. And then Junior Firpo, sorry, I didn't mention before when I was running through that team on Tuesday, who has been really good as well. And I know he's had a lot of people who say, oh, he's not good, and this and the other, and all the way through his career so far with Leeds. But, he's doing all right, and he's showing his worth to the team.
Yeah, he is. I completely agree. And I think with this now, George, when you look at the squad as a whole, obviously Nonto, I think, has been superb over the last couple of games. He's really found his rhythm, and he's found his inner mojo, which is good, because now you think, well, Dan James, it's competition for places. It's that old saying, isn't it, where you need healthy competition. And Daniel Farke has real problems now, because obviously Dan James is back fit. You stick with Nonto. For me, I think you do. I think we've found Nonto back in his old self. He's found himself again in a Leeds shirt, hasn't he, Nonto?
Yeah, he definitely has, and I'm delighted, like everybody else is. He had that little situation in the summer where I think 99% of us, I think, really wanted to see him gone after what he supposedly said and done. And fair play to him, it's taken him a little bit of time, but now he looks to really be enjoying himself, and he's scoring goals. That's 4 goals in 4 games, isn't it? With the 2 that he scored on Tuesday, and obviously he's big friends with Somerville, who's obviously helped him, I think, in the situation he was in, probably as well. And apparently they went for lunch or something, didn't they? When they all came out in the summer, and he was convincing him to stay, sort of thing. So he's obviously big friends with him. They really click on the pitch, and you can't get any better than that for me in the Championship. Really, Leicester might have maybe better, but I don't think they do in those positions. And then, like you said, you've got Dan James coming in. You can't leave Willie out now. You certainly not after two goals and an assist on Tuesday. You just can't leave him out.
No.
So, and I thought Dan looked bright as well. He had a chance, didn't he? I think later on in the game. So he looked bright as well, and so did Anthony as well, to be fair, I thought, and when he came on as well.
What was quite refreshing as well, other than through the poor television pictures, which were on Sky Sports, when it was fuzzing because of the weather or whatever. What was quite refreshing is that you could still make it out. I think it was around 60 minutes. The game was obviously won, and we saw some substitutions, which was fantastic because that's what we wanted to see, and we got it.
Well, it was, wasn't it? That was absolutely what we wanted to see because that, with all that travelling, 120 minutes. Some of the guys played, a week before at Plymouth, so it was the ample opportunity he had to switch people around, and it was good. And the lads who came on they did look good, and they looked hungry, and they looked like they wanted to be involved instead of just passively, getting through the time they're on the pitch because we'd won the game already, or it was done. But I thought everybody put in a real good shift, and even Mateo Joseph, when he comes on, looks to get himself about, doesn't he, and put himself about physically, which is really good. And I don't think it'll be too long before we see him get his first goal, really.
Jimbo, good evening, gentlemen. Many apologies for my appalling punctuality this evening. No need, Jimbo. We are here. There is one negative which I've kind of got, George, which it has just come to my mind. Patrick Bamford. What's going on? Injury? Yes. Is this going to be a long-term injury? Is it just a precaution? I don't know this. I know that Phil Ass didn't take up after the Swansea game.
Yeah, I think
to do with his knee or something.
He didn't say, did he, Fat? He sort of said he had some uncomfortability in his. I don't know. I didn't even hear where he said he was, but he said it was like 10 or 15 minutes before kickoff, so you have to make the change. It would be disappointing for him because obviously he started the year really, really well. But, at the end of the day, he's injury prone, isn't he?
But he is, George, but with Bamford playing, you get the press and his work effort. You get, literally, he causes so many problems for defences. And I know you're going to go, he's only scored this and he hasn't hardly played. But actually, genuinely, when Bamford plays, and when Bamford plays well, we genuinely win games. Yeah, and that's what worries me, because I think Bamford is a huge player for us moving forward.
But you see, on Tuesday, it didn't affect him at all, did it? No, and obviously,
he was due to start the game.
Of course he was, but that's what I mean. It didn't affect the lads. He even probably put the fire up Yoel even more, and he scored within the first 10 minutes. So it didn't matter so much on Tuesday. But I do agree that if he's out for more than maybe a week or two, I don't think he'll play tomorrow, will he? That's generally what seems to happen. If they get an injury midweek, they won't play on the Saturday. So we'll probably see Peru again at number 9, which is it's fine, isn't it? Look, he was one of the top scorers, if not the top scorer in the Championship last season. I don't know if he was, but he was definitely up there. So it's not a bad replacement, is it, to have on the bench and to come in if needed. So and I didn't expect Patrick to do so well this season, and particularly the way he started it. But fair play to him. He will be a miss, but I think we've got quality way above to get the goals that we need to get to.
Joel Perrault was 3rd last year,
right? So
the goal scoring table, 20 goals.
Yeah. So how many did the top man get?
Akpom for Middlesbrough, 29.
So it was 9 off, but that was a sort of freak season for Akpom because he was fantastic, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Hasn't really worked for Ajax really, but I think he's been linked with a move back to the Premier League and such. So look, he was in and amongst it. It's not a bad replacement if one of your sort of second striker gets injured. Really, this is why I felt we did need to strengthen at striker position in January. I think obviously if we go up, we're going to have to strengthen anyway in the striking department, but that would happen anyway. So I
don't think it would, George, because I think with us, I think those players who are currently playing for Leeds, and this is the big word, if they get promoted, those players deserve a shot at Premier League next year. They do.
Yeah, of course they
I know
do.
there's a lot of saying, oh, well, we need to still strengthen this. We need a new goalkeeper. We'll need this. We'll need that. We'll need a left back. We'll need a bloody whoever. We'll need every man and his dog probably. But if those players get you up, they deserve a chance at the Premier League next year. Even if they get relegated, they deserve a shot.
Yeah, of course they do. It was like the promoted team when Bielsa took us up. They deserved a chance and they got it, and they did very well. And I think, yeah, of course they do. And most of this team, like I said, have the experience in various different levels and an international level. And some have played the Premier League before. Obviously, if you look at that 11 team out on Tuesday, for example, I think 5 or 6 of them, or maybe even, I think about at least 6 of them, I think, Arron, had experience in some way of the Premier League. So, again, at this level, it's not really fair, but I do think that they do deserve a shot. And likes of Rutter, who John references there, he deserves a chance, doesn't he? If we get into the Premier League, obviously. I mean, he didn't get the opportunity last season. Was perhaps the wrong time to bring him in, and didn't really get the opportunity that he wanted to. But
I think with Rutter, it was the price tag and the dying need for a striker for us this time last year. When you got to look back on the last 12 months. We were crying out for a striker. He came in, big price tag, huge price tag, club record signing, etc., etc. I do think if we go up, he should again give him a chance. And I think it's the likes of Somerville, Nonto, to an extent Bamford. Having a stint in the Championship has done you no harm for your confidence, because if you go up, you get promoted, you can then flourish even further in the Premier League.
Well, that's exactly right. I don't think it's done them any harm at all. I think they probably needed it after last season, because if you go again to a Premier League team, and I don't know, like look at. I don't really want to focus so much on the players that aren't here, but look at Jack Harrison. He's gone away from Leeds having such a poor, in terms of the whole club and the squad, such a poor season last season with relegation. Now he's gone to another team that are around the relegation and probably not a good feeling. It's not going to do him any good, really. I know he's doing all right.
Let's be honest, Everton are not going to sign him.
That's even what I mean.
They're no chance. Well, the number one, they've got no money.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to find himself. Even if we get promoted, I don't think he'll be back at Leeds. I think that he'll go somewhere else.
Who'd take him though? Who's going to pay with Harrison? I know Sinisterra is gone.
Yeah,
I'm not too fussed about him. They've got the money back on him.
Yeah.
With Harrison, you're looking at a Premier League proven winger.
Yes, definitely.
And you're going to want 30 million quid.
Probably,
even for a Premier League side. The demand is there because you're still under contract. 5-year deal signed this time last year.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to demand. Leeds, quite rightly so, are going to demand big money from him. And I can't see, a top 6 club aren't going to come in from Newcastle.
No.
Burnley, you look at these teams who are, mid to Brentfords, Forests. Forest, a lot of financial pressures now. They're not going to pay over the odds for
no.
An average.
Well, every team are. Look at Brentford just spending 30 million on the lad yesterday. So I mean, I know it's a pre-arranged deal, but they can't just spend. And you're right. Yeah. Nobody's gonna take a chance on him. Really, what is he? 26 or something now? Like you said, he's proven at the Premier League. He's done really well, to be fair. Scored quite a few goals for both Leeds and Everton.
He's not going to go abroad because I don't think anybody abroad would take a chance on him.
I think they might do abroad.
But not for Jack Harrison in particular. You've got to look and think, right, which team could he go into? He won't go, Palace ain't going to spend 30 million quid on him.
No, I mean,
I'm giving you mid-table Premier League sides here.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you look at the top 6. No chance.
No, I mean,
no chance.
Maybe he has to come back to Leeds and just sort of, see how he does. I mean, I don't know. Anybody in the comments would you take Harrison back. I'd take him back, but I don't know whether he'd
That's
kind of
not
want
fair.
to.
That's not fair, George, on the wingers which have got you up.
Got you into the because he's sort of taken a bit of a, in a sense, he's taken a year holiday.
Yeah,
and didn't want to get down and dirty in the championship, did he? So maybe it's difficult with in terms of that, but I do think that Harrison, obviously, you can't underline the quality, which I think Somerville and Nonto both have.
That's what John says here. He says Harrison is no better than Somerville or Willie Nonto or James, in my opinion. Too inconsistent. One game a world beater. Next 6 League One is Jack.
Yeah. I think it's probably fair. He does go missing for long periods of game spans, like John said, like sort of 6 in a row. He'll be bad, and then he'll be good. He'll score couple of goals in one game or something, and we all think he's great again. So I don't know, but I do agree with you, Aaron, that I think the likes of Willie Nonto and Somerville and those lads, it was the right decision to stay, and because you get the good fit, you get the good facts, the good feeling about it. We're flying at the moment. They're loving it. They're scoring goals. Look at him, 15 goals and 8 assists in the league this season. He wouldn't have got that at the Premier League. He probably wouldn't have got that much game time in the Premier League side. So it does him the world of good. For me, the only man that probably should have stayed as well was Brendan Aronson, who should have. I feel like he would have benefited massively as well with the other lads as with a season in the championship. I think he would have done. I know you
do, and I know you want him back in that team.
I wouldn't have minded it, but I don't think that.
With Brendan Aronson, he's made his bed, he can lie in it, along with the rest of those nonsense fools. And I know it's not past 9 o'clock. Those nonsense fools who turn their back on the club deserve to go and never come back. Why, as what you've just said there, why should they come back after having a year off and get straight back into something and go, right, you're back now, I'm back, and I'm going to get paid £100,000 a week, and I'm better than you, blah, 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 blah. We don't want any of them back. And for Brendan Aronson, he's another one that was kind of going to be stuck with. And I know we've got rid of Sinisterra, so it was just straight stop, we didn't make a loss or a profit on him.
No.
The next one will be Brendan Aronson, which will come up into discussion. Where the hell are you going to get that money back for 25 million quid we paid for him?
Well, where are you going?
No team is going to pay that for him.
No, they're not. Because I don't think Union Berlin were especially happy with his performance level. No. Certainly, sort of going into the January window, that's where the rumours of him coming back into Leeds were formed. I think. No. I don't know. And again, I don't think fans would take too kindly to him, sort of just coming straight back and sort of saying, oh, like you said, I'm back here now. We're back in the Premier League. Let's get going again. I don't think the fans would take too kindly to that because they know. No, I don't. I don't think I would, because it'd be like, yeah, you sort of pied us off for a year while you go and get paid better because you didn't fancy going down to the second division. But the likes of, like we said, the likes of Willie Nonto, fair play to him. I know he spat his dummy out at the start, but he had a change of heart, and everybody deserves a second chance at it, and he's taken it now, and yeah, he's reaping the rewards, because I'm sure he's feeling a lot better than he did this time last year, even though he was playing Premier League, because the feeling around the team was probably horrible. And
yeah, it's completely different, and I think with Daniel Farke as well, and this is where a lot of credit goes to the manager. He has literally said, goodbye. If you don't want to play, see you later.
Well, yeah.
It's good. This is good football, and if you don't want to play for Leeds, you go. It's not nice. It's all that sort of stuff. If he doesn't want to play for the team, he can fuck off.
He's great. He's great like that. To be fair, he doesn't give any. He's like, yeah, if you don't want to play, it was like what Cooper said at the end of the last season. You don't want to play, just go. He doesn't care if he's whatever. Like Sinisterra would have been. I know he started the season with us. Obviously, then spat his dummy out the pram and didn't want to play. But he could have easily Fark could have said, no, you are contracted to Leeds, you're going to play and you're going to stay. But he was conscious that would, cause issue in the dressing room. He doesn't care. He'd be the best player in the team. He'd be the best player in the division by a mile. But no, get him gone. He don't want to play, and he doesn't lose sleep over letting players like that go because they haven't got the right mentality. And I think that's good. It was the same with Nonto.
Yeah, and I think this is where Fark will come into his own again in the summer once we know which division we're in next year.
Yes,
because all of your loan players do come back.
Yeah, of course they do.
For the end of this, they will come back. So if we finish the season on the 6th of May or whenever it is, or if it's the 28th of May, they will come back before they go off on the summer holidays because they're still going to the training grounds.
They have to. They're contracted to the team. Yeah,
they're contracted to the 30th of July or 30th of June. Sorry, they'll all come back and whatever.
Well, some of them are contracted way beyond that, aren't they? Like you said.
If the contract was expiring this year, like Cooper and Ayling and Dallas, they all have to still report to train to the 30th of June because that's when it's done for them.
Yeah, it changes. Yeah, but so we've got
the point I was trying to make, George, is that those players, your Harrisons, your Aronsons, your Lorentes, your Christensens, all those are going to be coming back.
Yes.
And they're going to be having a harsh conversation with Daniel Fark because if we are in the Premier League, I want to stay around. He will turn around probably and go, "I don't like you," or whatever,
But he might do. But then also, I think Fark has also the other way, Aaron, of forgiving people. Like obviously we've seen with Willie. Willie's come back and said, "Hey, I was wrong about doing what I did," and he's put him back in the team. And so he obviously gives second chances as well. So I think it's probably an even playing field if we do get promoted, say, and these lads come back. Yeah, they'll be involved in pre-season and they'll have, conversations with the now new manager to them.
Yeah,
on where they're going to fit into the team and what his plans are for rebuilding it. Because at the end of the day, we badmouth a lot of these players for going out and turning their back on the club or whatever. But at the end of the day, some of them under a new regime and a confident, a good feeling about the club, they might perform a lot better. So the players like Christensen and things like this under contract to Leeds, Aronson, maybe they might have do a little bit better in the same division under a different regime. I don't know, because things can change, and
I completely agree.
Look, if people say about Aronson, "Oh no, I don't want him back," or Christensen, say Christensen, if we get promoted, first game of the season next season in the Premier League, he first few minutes flies into a crunching challenge. People are going to say, "Hey, come on, love him again, aren't they?" And he's beating his chest again. So then people easily forget, don't they? It's like with Willie, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want to touch on some of the comments here because there's there's a little debate going amongst the comments here. I'll just read this. Michael says Leicester are selling Maddison for 40 million, Barnes for 38, Southampton sold Livermento for 37, left with 62, Ward-Prowse 34, Leeds sell Adams for 23 and Sinisterra for 21, selling our players too cheaply. And then Liam says, absolutely no chance of getting any return from leasing Aronson. We probably would have to pay a club to take him off our books, probably so. And then he jumps in and says, agrees with Michael, we've sold our players too cheaply. Do you agree with that? And then I'll read this comment. Do you agree that we've sold these players too cheaply this summer?
Not really. I think
they weren't good enough. When you look at the players, you look at Ward-Prowse, he's never going to stick around in the championship.
Yeah, look, James Ward-Prowse,
Maddison as well.
Livermento, Maddison, they're all like international level players. Even Livermento, you could argue, deserves maybe a chance at England at international level. So some of them players are a lot better than like Adams and Sinisterra, players that have played at Premier League level for, in terms of Maddison and Ward-Prowse have played at Premier League level for years. And then you're talking about Adams and Sinisterra, who played one season and got relegated. So no, I don't think we sold them cheap at all. I think we've about got right what they were worth, because you can't really get a Premier League player for less than 20 million now, can you? So yeah, and let's be honest, they got relegated. So. And they've both only played one season, and Adams didn't even. Both of them didn't manage a full season because they were both injured in certain parts.
They're still not.
Exactly. So I mean, and Sinisterra seems to have got over whatever injury problems he has, and is playing regularly for Bournemouth. But Adams hasn't returned, and I think he's out for probably another couple of weeks until he's available again. So, so they'll see the best of him, maybe next season, or maybe they never will. Injuries seem to be a problem for him.
And I'll just finish on this one here. Those players that have left have not broken the terms of their contracts. They're exercising the terms of that contract relegation release clause. If anyone is to blame, it's Victor Orta for such a bad deal. Bad deal.
Yeah, we knew all about. Yeah, he
just did a bad. He's a bad man. Anyway, listen, George, we've got a game to predict on Saturday. Leeds take on Plymouth Argyle again. In this time in the Championship. What's your score prediction for this one, sir?
I think I'm going to go. I don't think it'll be as comprehensive as the FA Cup win. Obviously, remembering we needed extra time.
George, just 1 second. Get your comments in. Get your predictions in before George gives you his view, and we'll go for it. So go on in, George. Sorry, go on. Predictions for Saturday.
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be as comprehensive as it was in the FA Cup. And let's not forget, we didn't put our chances in away in the 90 minutes. And if that was a league game, we would have drawn that one, wouldn't we? So. But I do think we're going to win this game. I'm going to agree with Colin there. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 Leeds.
2-0 Leeds. So we'll go still unbeaten, and it'll be 8 games.
8 wins in a row if we win.
8 wins in a row. That would be nice.
I don't know when that has last happened. I don't even know when 7 wins in a row has last happened. It would be a long time ago.
It would be nice.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if we could, if we can win the next 3 and get to double figures with, in a row, 10 in a row. I mean, it's unheard of territory. This really, but yeah.
Okay. So, what's your prediction? 2-0.
2-0. I'm saying 2-0 Leeds.
Okay, right. I'll fire through some of these. Colin says 2-0 Leeds. Eric Papa says 3-1 Leeds. Liam says he's sorry. Don't worry, Liam. We're always here. You can watch it back on YouTube if you want.
And you can watch it back on mine as well if you want this time.
Yes, there you can. John says 1-2, but if we put our chances away, 9-1, and they seem to get a lucky goal.
Yeah, but they did both times. I mean, 3 times we played Plymouth now, and 3 times they seem to have got a really jammy goal. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, they might get a token goal, but no, I think we'll be all right in this one. Okay, although they are, like I said, they are 10 games unbeaten, I think, in the league at home.
They are. They're in good form at home. Stuart says more comfortable 2-0 this time. And how would I say this name? Owen Gain says 1-3 lanes. I do apologise. Owen or 3-1 Leeds is becoming late. Listen, I think we will win this game, George. And do you know what? I'm going to go a lot more than this. I think it's going to be 5-0 Leeds.
5-0. I mean, it could well be, couldn't it? Leeds are
going to be 5.
Yeah, because we are flying, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if it ended up 3-4, 5-0, really. But it just depends on. Yeah, we're looking strong, so I don't.
We will tire them out, George. We will tire.
Oh, they should beat them
when we're playing them in the second half.
Yeah, they should honestly. They should beat them easily. I think really in terms of not the score, but in terms of the actual gameplay, they should be comfortable as they were on last Tuesday. To be fair,
and
you were right. You were right, were you?
Oh no, I said Owen. Irish spelling. Thank you. Thank you. I do apologise, but there you go. Owen, listen again next week and I'll say your name properly, sir. And Stuart says, listen out for his Fark Life song this weekend. Are you going to perform it on Sky Sports, Stuart? If you're going down to Plymouth, make sure you get one of those microphones.
Well, was you the one, Stuart, because I've seen this, were you the one that made that up, were you?
I don't know.
Well,
It says a great shout, Arron, there for a 5-0. And Colin says, last comment of the day. No, we'll listen next week. Yeah, please do. Come in and say hello.
Wow,
yes.
you did.
So do you know Stuart?
Wow.
Quick one before we go.
I don't know Stuart. I don't know him from Adam, but
what do you know?
But
what's he done?
No, I've seen he's done that. He made up that Fart Life song, which I think we've seen the lyrics to.
Right.
That's what his. I think that's what he's referring to. A bit further up.
Hey, we'll have to get him on so we can get him to sing it to us, George. We'll get him on next week if we win.
But if you just confirm that that is what he's talking about, and I'm not.
We will hold fire.
I'm pretty sure that's what he was referring to. Yeah, 1,400 likes on. So he's made it big there.
Come on, Stuart. You can come on the show next week with myself and George, and you can give us, in preparation for the Leicester game, you can give us a little bit of I don't know, what am I looking for here? You can give us some inspiration.
Stuart made it into the group. Stuart, you made it into our group because I believe that Lou shared.
You don't like? Is it Blur?
I'm not a big fan of Blur, really, but Part Life is Blur. But you know that song, Arron. You must know it.
Yeah.
But
I'm not going to sing it.
But I'm not gonna say, oh, that's a bad one, Stuart. I think it's great that he's doing that, and I'm just saying I'm not a big fan of Blur, but I do like and appreciate the song. Anything to do with Leeds United, it's fabulous.
Excellent. Well, I think what we'll do is, Stuart, we would love to get you on the show next week. Just DM LS11 LUFC on X, and we will get you a link, and you can come on, sing us your song, and give us a bit of a pep talk after our 5-0 hammering of Plymouth Argyle, and ready to take on those Foxes, and we're going to tame them next Friday. Right, George, thank you so much for this evening. It's been great. Thank you to all the hundreds of comments which have come in as well. Keep them coming. And we will be live. When should we be live next week, George? Tuesday or Thursday? You choose.
Well, Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah,
there's no midweek games, I don't think, next week, is there?
God, no.
I know it's been a bit relentless, hasn't it, really?
Lovely. Right then, ladies and gents, thank you very much, and we will see you next week.
See